guys doing? Hope you're gonna have an awesome day today. Over to if you over there, can you do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe. Oh yeah, to go ahead, push that bell for notifications so you can get to school my news upcoming videos. Alright everyone, so I want to give you a brief recap of this before I talk about the show Warrior. Now this was written by the story of Bruce Lee. It's not about Bruce Lee, it was a story written of Bruce Lee basically, and one of the directors of this show is actually a director from the Fast and Furious movie. It's not the new Fast and Furious movie. It was by, I believe, Justin. Now, the thing is, I was really upset because AMC's Into the Badlands was the best martial arts show that was ever been seen before. So, martial arts show, as myself as a martial artist, I love martial arts. I have a passion to my heart. Daniel Wu played his role really good as a martial artist. But things came a turn when they happened. Basically, they canceled the whole show after season 3. My heart was devastated because that was the best martial arts show I ever seen. Because let me tell you this. Basically, the story of it happened is in the future. It happens in the future. There's no real like technology or anything like that, new technology. Basically what happened 100 years in the future is that guns were outlawed. There's no guns, there's no firepower, there's no rocket launchers, there's no military at all. It's just straight up martial arts, swords, weapons, blades, spears, arrows, crossbows, you name it. Martial arts, always, all the time. I love that show. It was pretty epic and awesome, but when it got canceled, I was actually sad. The person who actually created and directed it was actually one of Jackie Chan's members of his stunt team, the Jackie Chan stunt team. Now, the Jackie Chan stunt team, most of them are actually movie directors themselves and actually actors themselves because they learned a lot from Jackie Chan. Other than that, so that got canceled. Few months, well, I'd say like 6 months later, you know what, I just went on HBO Max and I was looking up some different kind of like shows to watch. I saw this, Warrior. This picture looked familiar, this guy. And his name is Andrew Koji. Andrew Koji, I was like, wait a minute. He played in G.I. Joe, Snake Eyes Origin. I was like, this is the dude that plays G.I. Joe Snake Origins. He played the run where he was supposed to be the leader of his temple, but they say that you're not ready yet. So he got really mad and he left. And then Snake Eyes said that I'm going to go and find him. I don't think there's going to be a part 2 or at all anything like that, because that was just a one origin story. It was like, I guess you could say a prequel, a standalone one. But as he's shown in this film, he is a brilliant martial artist. He fights like just like Bruce Lee, I can tell you that. So season 3 is already out right now, but season 3 is coming out on like every single Thursday, so I can't really talk about season 3 yet because all the episodes aren't really out yet. So he has like the spirit of Bruce Lee, basically the way how he fights, but eventually he's not going to be able to fight like how he normally fights, because this takes place in 1887. Yes, 1887. Now he crossed the seas. He's going over to, I guess you could say, San Francisco, Chinatown, because he's trying to find his sister. But what he doesn't know is that his sister is a leader of a gang organization called the Long Z. And so what happens is that he sees these 3 bulls. Now the Chinese, they call, I guess you could say, the police bulls. They call the like, I guess the white people there, they call them the ducks and stuff. They had different names for them. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Not trying to be stereotype racist. I'm just saying word for word what their nicknames are. And of course the ducks call them like chinks and stuff, and that's about it. So what happens is that the 3 bulls, they came up to him and they said, oh wow, he could actually speak our language, English, and they threatened him a little bit. They hit him and he took them all on. And when he took them all on, there's this man named, well, his name is Hong Li, but in the show his name is Chow. Now Chow is, I guess you could say, independent contractor. He sells weapons to both the Long Z and also the Hopway. Hopway is another gang organization which is in Chinatown. So Chow saw that he could speak English and also he could scrap. When they always say scrap inside the TV shows, scrap means basically like they could fight, like take care of themselves and stuff. He thought that he could take him inside his carriage and bring him over to the Hopway and get some money from him, like sell him to the Hopway and initiate him and put him inside a gang. Basically, that's what he wanted to do, and he did. He has Asim. That's his name. The main protagonist, Asim. He asked him, so you can speak English? And he said that, yeah, my grandfather was American. He was actually an American soldier. His story was that his grandfather was an American soldier and he got hurt and he was in the war. And, well, let's just say that he fell in love with a Chinese nurse and um, that's how it happened, basically. And he knows how to speak Cantonese. Everyone speaks Cantonese there, like in the Long Z and in the Hopboy. Now, when he sees the Hopboy, he sees Young Jung. Uh, his real name is Jason Tobin, but Young Jung is the second leader of the Hopboy. His father is Father Jung. Now, Father Jung is the leader of the Hopboy. He is a mean son of a bitch, I can tell you that. He does know how to scrap, and well, the thing is that if you know how to scrap and if you have brains, then you could join the Long Z. So he was able to join the Long Z. Now, let me tell you this. They speak Cantonese. Cantonese is another word for in Mandarin. Like people speak Chinese, but there are different types of languages in Chinese. In this case, it's not Mandarin, it's actually Cantonese, basically. So, when you see when the, I guess you could say, Hopway or Long Z's, when they're talking in Cantonese, the camera frame is about to go in front of their face. Once it goes in front of their face, they start speaking English. So, like, we can actually understand them what they're saying. There's no subtitles like when they're like about to speak English and stuff. There are subtitles when they do speak English. At this moment, at this time, they don't know that he speaks English and he's just trying to find his sister. Now, apologies, I can't pronounce his sister's name, the one he's trying to find, but she goes by a new name because she's the leader of the rival gang. He doesn't even know it. He's initiated into the Hopway, a different gang. Now, Hopway, they wear suits, which is pretty awesome and epic. I like when they wear suits. The Long Z, they were just straight out Chinese Shifu geese. Basically, that's what I can say. So they have a rival clan, and well, let's just say that he's looking for Ma Ling. And so they actually go inside a brothel. Once they go inside a brothel, he brings Young Jin and Asim go inside a brothel. Of course, they see the woman that is like the owner of the brothel, and she takes care of the girls there. Now, she's not a tiger. A tiger is the one, um, is a woman that like forces people into doing things that they want. But no, 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 no. That's not a toy. A toy is a type of woman that takes care of girls and that has a place for them. You can either stay and work or you could either leave if you want to. So she lets her girls leave if they want to, but they stay there for a job. Now, basically, he opened his business, Asim, and said that I'm looking for so and so, like basically his sister he was talking about. And they said that we don't know this person you're talking to. I guess you could say a few minutes later, a few members of the Long Z come up inside a toy's brothel. You know, the Long Z are not allowed inside the brothel at all. Because, let me tell you the reason why, it's because it's on Hot Boy territory. They're not allowed to go on Hot Boy territory. I guess you could say it's kind of like the gang members nowadays, like...
One sec.
Stop. Sorry, that was serious. Apologies. It's like the gang members, like the Bloods and the Crips, you know how like they stay on different sides. They don't like mess with each other. It's basically like that. They stay on their turf and they stay on their turf. It's different sides. And so when they brought Young Jung out of like bed, he was actually banging two girls at the same time, and he got pissed off. He was like, "What do you guys want? What do you guys want from me?" And so he says that one Long Z gang member says, "You're looking for this woman. Now you're coming with us." Asim comes downstairs and says that no, he wasn't the one looking for her. I was. And they said, "Well, you're coming with us to see Long Z." Long Z was basically the head of the, I guess you could say, their gang, the Long Z basically. But the thing is that he said, "No, I'm not going with you." And he put a beat down on all the Long Z members. Now, when they got up, they took out their hatchets. When they took out the hatchets, he still took them on. He fights just like Bruce Lee. He doesn't make the noise as Bruce Lee, though, just to let you guys know. He does his own style, his own way, but he still really does fight like Bruce Lee. He has Wing Chun inside of him as well. I'm not entirely sure what his fighting style is, but he was trained in the heart of China. If you're trained in the heart of China in a martial arts, that bloodline trait, everything, the knowledge you learn, you're basically unstoppable, undefeatable, basically, until you meet a person that can take you on like face to face. So basically, he took them all on, and they left. They ended up leaving because he broke a few of their arms, broke a few of their legs, and then walked right back upstairs. A toy offered and said that the thing is that you need someone out the hopway. So basically, she ends up saying that I could be your friend, like someone that's not in the hopway, like I could be your eyes and ears and stuff. We could be friends. And he says basically he agrees to that eventually. So the next day, what happens is that he goes. Well, the thing is that back in like the 1940s and stuff, what happens is that in New York, what they used to do is the mafia used to go to butcher shops, or they used to go to clothing shops, and they used to tell the owners, "You give us $200 every single like 2 weeks when we stop by, and we protect your store." The reason why they say that is because we protect your store, because if your store's not protected, any other gang could like actually go over to your store and destroy it. But if some kind of gang knows that you're being protected by the mafia, they won't fuck with your store at all. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say right there. So it's the exact same thing that's going on with the Hopway. The Hopway is taking care of their own, like the businesses on the streets and stuff. So Asim, he sees some of the Longzi walking away towards, I guess, their territory, and he follows them. And he sees that where their location, where their hideout is at. Young Jung follows him. Young Jun's like, "Dude, what the fuck were you doing here?" and stuff. This is Longzi's territory. And now Asim knows where they are at. So at night he goes and sees them. He's inside, basically, I guess say it's like inside their house slash dojo. He's sitting down. That's where he meets uh, Lee Young. Lee Young is the second leader. I wouldn't say leader, he's like the main protector. He is an extreme martial artist, just like Asim and stuff. And so basically he says, "What do you want to see with," basically, I'm sorry, I can't pronounce his Asim's sister's real name, but she goes by Miley right now. So basically he asks, "Why do you want to see this girl so much?" And he says that, "Well, I'll tell her when I see her." And he says that, "You're not going to see her, you're going to tell me." And Asim says, "I could have came in here, and I came here with respect. But when I leave here, I might not leave, so I guess you could say not rudely." Basically, he was gonna take them all on. And so Lee Young, you want to spar him. They sure did spar, and they're kind of an even match. Miley comes in, and Miley says, "Enough, stop." And so basically she says that she's part of Longzi. She's not going back with them to China. But he does tell her that the person that she married is already dead, because he treated her like cruel and just psychotic. He was a psychopathic maniac, but Asim, he was the one who actually killed him and stuff. That's why he wanted to bring his sister back to China. But his sister ends up finding out that he has been marked by the Hop Boys, so he's part of the Hop Boy gang. So she says, just get over it, just leave and stuff. So he has to. He's part of the Hop Boy clan now. And so what happens that else? It's a battle between gangs, and he can't tell anyone else about like his new brothers. He can't say that the leader of the rival clan is his own sister, his blood sister. He can't say that to any of his new brothers and stuff. If he says that, you never know, he might get like dice. When they say the word dice, they mean like killed, basically. That's what they say. So it's a complicated relationship that they have. Even Li Young, the protector of the Longzi, even said to my Li, like, no one can know that he's your brother. He's the only person that actually knows that that's her brother and stuff. And so whatever happens next is that he's like, okay, so she's definitely not coming with me now. I gotta stick with myself. And soon, eventually, he finds out that he can't fight. He can't like knock people out anymore or like break their limbs and legs. He's part of a gang, which means he has to kill. And when he kills people, he uses basically knives, blades, butcher knives, anything he can get a hold of. He can't like restrain himself or hold back. He has to go in all in. So basically he goes to the dark side of himself. But we do get explanation of why what happened to him. This video has gone long, apologies for this, but it is so worth it. And let's just say that, okay, so the reason why he came back here to like to Chinatown, the US, to get his sister was because his sister married General, and basically the reason why she married General because the General wanted to kill Asim, her brother. Reason why is because Asim was a really good fighter back in China, and he loved fighting with other people and stuff. It's like Bruce Lee. What Bruce Lee liked to do is Bruce Lee loved to get in fights. In this case, Asim, he actually fought a boy when he just punched him just like one time. He fell down on the ground and never came back up. He killed him. Problem is that it was the general's son he killed, and the general wanted to kill Asim. So that's why Mylene had to marry that general, but that general, he did really bad things to her, and that's why she left to China. Eventually, he was able to kill the general, and then he went back to Chinatown just to find his sister, bring her back home. There's a lot to the story, like there's individual different stories involving the characters inside the TV show, but that's all I can say for now. This show is pretty epic and awesome. I highly suggest you guys check it out. As a martial artist myself, I'm hyped up and pumped up. I rewatch a lot of these, I guess you could say, episodes, and they're a banger. Check it out yourself, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are new, subscribe to the channel as always, and yes, of course, I'll see you all in the next one.